right, welcome everybody to the Boostly podcast. A very, very special episode today because we are celebrating the 200th episode of the Boostly podcast, and we are doing a very special live roundtable, and we're going to talk about something that is very important and something that I wanted to talk about for a while, which is hashtag Thai on stage. I've got with me three fantastic guests that I'm so looking forward to introduce you to. But before we do that, let's begin the Boostly podcast experience.
We have some breaking news now. The Boostly podcast is about to begin. Make sure you like this post, comment #BookDirect, and share this video in Facebook groups. But now, let me hand you over to your host, Mark Simpson.
All right, welcome one and all. Thank you very much for joining us, and welcome to like I said, very special episode. What I would love everybody to do as you're coming in, if you're watching live or even if you're watching back on the replay, do say hi in the comments. So let me know where you're watching in from the world. Let me know the business. Let me know your website. Give yourself a little bit of pitch and a promote and a plug, because you never know who's watching this. Your next guest could be watching this and in the comments as well. So please do say hi. Please do let me know where you are tuning in from. So today is a very special podcast, and I'm really looking forward to introducing you to all of our amazing guests and talking about a topic that needs to be said and needs to be talked about. So what I've gone and done and put together is a very special podcast. We've got three guests that are going to talk about Thai on stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the guests go straight in and introduce themselves. And I've asked everybody to let me know about, and their story in getting involved with hospitality. So what they were doing before, why did it get started, and how has it progressed to where it is now. So we're going to start with Heather, then we'll go to Mariah, and then we're going to go to Vanessa. Now there is hopefully going to be one more guest join us live during the show. It's very, very, very early in Australia, so I'm going to send a quick text message. Hopefully she's had a coffee and we can get Julie on as well. But if not, we will rock it with the four of us, so to speak. So Heather, if you could just take a couple of moments, please. Just let everybody know your story, how you got into hospitality, and how has it transpired and progressed to here, please.
Well, firstly, congratulations on your 200th episode. I know that it's a tough slog.
Yes, thank you.
Keeping up with podcast episodes. So congratulations on that, and I'm very honoured to be here on your 200th. That is so cool.
Thank you.
My background, goes back quite a long time, so this could take quite some time. I'll keep it short. So I'm an ex-psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, management consultant, and serial starter of businesses. And it was that got me into this way back in last century, 1998. And we went on a vacation in Ontario, Canada, and I was from the UK at the time, working as a management consultant with a training company, and went to a cottage on a lake. And it was, I could say it was a disaster. It was a grungy little cottage on a rock, and 12 of us went there, and there was no indoor plumbing and etc. I mean, this is way back last century. And sat on a rock on the last night, and I turned to my sister, and we sat with a gin and tonic or two, and I said, we could do this better. And, we could just do a great job with this. And went back to England, decided I would buy a property in Canada, went on to buy 7, and moved to Canada 3 years later, started a rental management company, and here I am 18 years later with one of Ontario's top producing property management companies, and I'm now the host of the Vacation Rental Success podcast, which I've been doing for the last 7 years. I'm sort of talking quick because I know there's a lot to cover there.
No, you're perfect. So thank you very much. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was after, and it's always hard to go first, but I would just say thank you very much. Mariah, we're going to come to you next. So again, same question to you. What were you doing before Smiling House and hospitality, and why did you get into it? And just a little bit more, because you are in a beautiful part of the world, and just sort of share your story, if you could be so kind.
Yes, so thank you for having me tonight or this morning for Julie. My name is Moriya Rockman from Smiling House. I'm the CMO and the founder of the company. And we are based here in the Swiss Alps. And I'm not in the sauna. I'm just in the one part of my chalet up here in the mountains. It's very, very beautiful outside, full of snow, but very cozy inside, like you can see. And my journey with hospitality actually started with this very place where I'm based right now. It was a 350 years old, very, very old farmhouse that Ira and me turned into just kind of summer vacation home, because you for sure wouldn't like to stay here in winter. There was no heating. The toilet was outside, and most of the house was dedicated to cows and the stable and all kind of huge parts of the house that was really not meant for human being to stay in. And we slowly but surely start to kind of renovate it for our own needs, until one day a friend came from New York. We had many little babies at the time, so we suggested for her and her boyfriend to stay here. And then she kind of introduced us to Airbnb. She said, "Why don't you Airbnb this place?" And I said, "What is Airbnb?" I'm talking about the beginning, I don't know, but about 10 years ago. And she introduced us, and we put this place online. And we've been very, very surprised with the kind of people booking this place, people who could stay in a very luxurious place and actually wanted to get to a place like that with the authentic feeling of a Heidi chalet or something like that. And there's a long journey, but not so long in time, since we start to take it in a serious way. And today we are managing 3,000 properties, mostly in luxury, in 29 countries and 90 destinations. And I'm very, very happy to be in this industry of hospitality. Before that, I'm coming from the background of communication, lecturing university in Israel, where I'm originally from, and I'm just like still in the journey, still learning every day, extending the business, and very, very lucky to be here in the Swiss Alps.
Thank you very much. And now obviously as well speaking, doing podcasts and Clubhouse rooms and speaking on stage, which is fantastic, which is obviously what we're going to talk about, which is amazing. And yes, Jane, she did just say 3,000 properties. It's amazing. So we've got a lot of people chatting in the comments, so please do keep saying hello and say hello to our guests. And again, what I would love everybody to do is just to share your story and how you got into hospitality, because as much as we love getting people up on the stage, I can only fit 4 or 5 guests on here. There's so many other people that I would love to have on the stage as well. So please do share your story. But we're going to move on to Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa. So again, I've wanted to get you personally on the podcast for so long to talk about this. I saw you talking about it at one of the events that we were both at. But before we talk about Thai on stage and equality, etc., but what I would love for you to do is just to give you your background. What were you doing before rentals, and what were you doing before hospitality? What made you get into the journey? Because you've had a really cool story. I've listened to many of podcast interviews in the past, and I would just love for you to share it with the Boostly team, please.
Thank you so much. Well, it's been a rocky story. It's been ups and downs, lots of them, and but it's all started really in a 25 square meter apartment in the center of Rome, where I decided to create an OTA, a type of Airbnb, but Airbnb didn't exist back then. So I wanted to be the middleman. So I found a property manager to work with in Rome, another one in Venice. And I made a website because I was a bit of a programmer, developer, front-end developer. So I managed to make a website. And I had €1,000 to make this website work. So I had some properties and decided, I'm going to get some guests. And back then it was 2006. So I had €1,000, and €1,000, where do you put them in order to make a website work? At the time, I put them in AdWords. And it wasn't very competitive, right? At the time, thank God. But yes, it was a make or break situation. Either make the €1,000 work, or go back to London, pack my bags, and find a job, kind of thing. But I put the €1,000 in AdWords, and within a week, I was in profit. So I was an early days Airbnb, if you want, and I did that for 8 years. Grew it to 8,000 vacation rentals that you were able to book online throughout the world, which today sounds like nothing, right? 8,000, what's that? But at the time it was, whoa, right? So 8 years later, it became harder and harder because Airbnb got their millions in, Booking.com got millions in. Everybody was trying to get into our world, and it was really hard to make the marketing bucks work, basically. And so came a competitor of ours, also a small to medium-sized agency, and he said, well, if we don't do something about it, if we don't get together, we're going to die as agencies. It's too hard. And so we got together and we came up with 4 competitors, with the idea of a distribution platform. And this distribution platform is today Rentals United. We let the agencies go. We grew Rentals United. And this is what I'm doing today. I'm very, very proud that we have 100 employees in Warsaw and in Barcelona, where I'm sitting right now. And yes, that's my kind of story of how I got into vacation rentals.
Fantastic. And I love how you just say 8,000 so blasé when there's people watching now, just like in awe. So fantastic. Thank you to everybody for a lovely intro. And what I really want to do is I want to get on to the next part. So I thought it'd be a fantastic way to see in 200 episodes to celebrate women in hospitality and really sort of get people to not be afraid of standing up and talking, and especially like taking the next step. And we've got Heather, we've got Mariah, and we've got Vanessa, who, the podcast, speaking on stage and all of that. And that is where yourself, Vanessa, came up with this idea. So could you just please explain to everybody who doesn't know what Tie on Stage is, what it is, what it represents, and why it's important to you, please?
Well, once I didn't say thank you so much for giving Tie on Stage a platform. Thank you. And Tie on Stage basically was born out of a day when I went to a summit, a vacation rental summit, and I looked at the agenda. I had done a proposal that I wanted to speak on stage, and I looked at the agenda for the day, and I basically was the only woman on stage that day, and it struck me. It was like, how is that possible? And so I decided that during that day I would raise awareness around the fact that this wasn't quite right. And then I had to think about how do we raise awareness. It was scary, it was scary because I don't know, when you speak up about inequality, it's kind of scary, and also you don't want to be. I mean, I am a feminist, but somehow there were lots of men in the crowd, and being labeled a feminist, sometimes there's negative connotations to it. So the whole process was fairly scary to me, and so I decided that somehow we needed to raise awareness around the fact that this wasn't right. And how do you raise awareness? Symbols can help. And so I decided, what can we use as a symbol that's easy for us to raise awareness with? And I thought of a tie, also because a tie is like a noose around your neck. So we want to liberate ourselves from this noose. And so this is how the whole process behind Tie on Stage came about. And so I did I was extremely worried about it. My small speech about the fact that we need to raise awareness with this is not right, and why not more women on stage. And to my surprise, it was really welcomed, like really, really welcomed by men and women, by everyone in the audience. Obviously, they're unconscious biases at the end of the day, I think. Yeah. And so when we spoke about it on stage, immediately there was they were welcoming towards it. And so since then, many women have been wearing ties on stage. We have a hashtag which is trending on LinkedIn, etc., where also in different industries, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. Not just in our own industries, but there's been women with in different industries wearing ties on stage, And so that's what it is. It's basically raising awareness that there is inequality when it comes to public speaking, as well as there is inequality in many other respects, right, in the workplace. But when it comes to public speaking, this is one of the areas where we need to raise awareness, and this is what we're trying to do with the hashtag.
So when was the first time you went to the summit and you spoke about this? What year are we placing this in?
This is 2019, so nothing, 2 years
ago. Less than 2 years ago. And since then, since the awareness, have you noticed that there is being something done about it, or do you feel like there's room for massive improvement?
There's definitely room, right? And I think now I'm not labeled a feminist, I'm labeled a bully, because I do see a lot of organizers of events, and again, it's unconscious bias, right? And they organize events, and somehow it's like 10%. Sometimes it's just male, and so I go in and I go, hey. Hashtag Tie on Stage, and they welcome it. They welcome it. I know that the moderators and the people I have spoken to about it, the people who organize events, since then they do make an effort. And I said I would wear a tie on stage until we're 50-50. So today, obviously, I don't have to, but to all the events where we're not 50-50, I wear a tie, just in order to raise awareness. It's not right. It's just not right.
Well, thank you for that. And I just wanted to say a little welcome to Julie George. We can see you. We'll see you early in the morning in Australia. Yeah, it's okay. I hope you got a strong coffee. But thank you very much, Vanessa. There you go. Strong cuppa. So I just wanted to pass the mic over to Heather and Mariah, and then we'll fill Julie in on the conversation so far. Have you obviously ever been over in America and Canada and speak, go to many events, etc.? Have you ever noticed this there, where there's just a lack of female speakers, or is it more 50-50, so to speak, in America and Canada, etc.?
No, that the proportion of female to male speakers at these events is ridiculous. Only even after Vanessa launched this, and a couple of events that I thought would change their rollout of the amount of female speakers, they just didn't. And the next one, you know Vanessa, exactly the ones I'm talking about, that they listened. It's like, yes, and Vanessa got on the stage with the tie, and then still the next one that rolled out, and I looked at the lineup, and it's just, you did not get that message. That message didn't get across. So I think we need to do more. I mean, I've been speaking at these events for the past 10 years, from VRMA through to the European events, and I am not seeing the difference. So I think there's a lot more that we can do as women in this industry, because there are so many amazing women in this industry. And I don't know whether it is the bias, an unconscious bias of the organizers, or whether it is a little about the women themselves not feeling confident enough to step up and put that pitch in. And I know that Amy High Note is doing wonderful things with the Vacation Rental Women's Summit to really encourage women to get on stage, because that's just about all there's going to be at the Women's Summit. And she currently is welcoming pitches for the Vacation Rental Women's Summit in New Orleans in December. So, just everybody's got something they can talk about. We're all crazy competent at what we do. Just go out there and share it.
Mariah, so you've recently started to take that step, to step up and speak at events. We were at an event last February in London. I don't know if that was the first time speaking or one of the first time speaking. So for yourself, before you started speaking, did you feel nervous? Was it something that you felt like you couldn't do, or just sort of share experiences, and why did you make that leap?
First of all, I think I remember the day that Vanessa was standing on the stage for the first time with a tie. I think it was down in Como in 2019. And I was in the crowd and I thought like, wow, this girl, she's finally saying what we all should have said a long time ago. But I have to agree also with Heather mentioning that it has to do with us ladies as well. You cannot choose 50-50 men and women when there's not 50% women that you know that have the ability to speak, or at least that somebody knows about their experience. So I would say that beside my own experience that I will say in a second, all of us, all the women in the hospitality, and apparently hospitality is one of the industries that women have a big tone, and a lot of women are busy with hospitality worldwide. So there's really not reason in this industry not to step up and to say more and to be more exposed. So for me, last February in London was not the first time I was on stage. I used to be, and I'm still a speaker also for another industry. I'm an expert for the sharing economy industry. And also in this kind of conventions, women were not the majority, unfortunately. So my experience is that it's getting better because of people like Vanessa and people like yourself, Mark, and all of us that kind of giving this topic another room, or kind of emphasize on it. But I must say that the new app of Clubhouse is a great opportunity. And this is where I met Julie for the first time. And this is where I happened to meet some kind of power ladies in hospitality all around the world. So if you're not there yet, join. And if you can join also the SDR Professional, where with Mark together and other kind of thought leaders, we having a great room. And also there we try to kind of raise the numbers of women speaking. And I think it's a great place to discover, and maybe it will give the idea of Thai on stage kind of a boost to find this more of these kind of ladies that will be able to speak when events will be more on real stage, but even before, even on digital stage, we all ready. And thank you for the opportunity again, and for the time that you took to do this kind of podcast around this topic.
So you make my life so much easier, Mariah, with the segues, because we're segueing straight into Clubhouse, and Clubhouse wouldn't be anything without Miss Julie George. So thank you very much for joining us. So we're definitely going to continue the topic and the conversation because it's really important. And there's a lot of people in the comments saying, this is the first time I've heard of Thai on stage, which is exactly why I wanted to do it, so we can spread more awareness and get more people talking about it. And I will finish off, Vanessa, with asking you on some actionable steps that we can take, etc. But Julie, could you just please, again, just a super quick intro for anybody that needs it, but nobody should, just a quick intro on yourself, where you are in the world, why are you drinking coffee at this time in the morning? You are literally time traveling. You are speaking to us on Tuesday. So please, a big intro. And what I would love for you to finish up on is obviously being in Australia. Did you notice the same over there? Obviously, you love to speak on stage, etc. Have you noticed the same? And just share your experiences so we can get right up to date.
All right. Well, hello, ladies and Mark. It is so terrific to be with you. And my apologies. I'm coming to you from Australia, where we've had some time changes, and it's 5 a.m. here. I thought we were supposed to meet at 6. Anyway, look. This is because it's all close friends here, this is a jacket over my pajamas today. So you guys are seeing the real deal, the real Julie George. So don't worry, I could actually put a tie on with this jacket, in fact, Vanessa. But look, I must admit that I've not heard of Thai on stage either until Mark said to me, come and jump on with Heather, come and jump on with Mariah and Vanessa and Thai on stage. I had to ask, what is it? What are you talking about? And when the concept was explained to me, it made total sense. Look, I guess just for anybody who doesn't know me, my claim to fame is this little book right here. Shameless plug in the background, $1 million host. I have had a pretty amazing journey in the sharing economy. Within 2.5 years, 0 to 130 properties, $8 million income, packaged the whole business together, sold the business, wrote a best-selling book. Now I get to jump up on stages all day, every day. In fact, today I've got 3 major events I need to do today. So, and one of them being a Clubhouse room. And we are talking about the future in Clubhouse. And yes, great topic, because I'm in Australia already. It's 5 a.m. here Tuesday. So I can tell you the future doesn't quite look bright yet because the sun hasn't come up, but it will. And I promise you, if I can have success in the sharing economy, you can have success in the sharing economy. Clubhouse room, just very briefly, look, I run a room there religiously every Sunday, but also we are starting for the European markets every Tuesday, 11 a.m. London time. And it's really just about a gathering of brains and gathering of minds in the short-term rental industry. Look, we're there to inspire, encourage, support each other. And this industry is one of very few that we all do that. We all lift each other up. We all help each other out. And I love the idea of encouraging more women to come in, because it's a safe space. You're not going to be judged. You're not going to be criticised. And especially on Clubhouse, where it is knowledge before image. Hear that again, knowledge before image. You don't even have to worry about putting a jacket on over your pajamas. You can be doing the dishes. You can be changing the child's nappy. You can be, well, we all know that there's been people sitting on the toilet while they've been talking on Clubhouse. Let's be honest. So guys, come and join us. If you ever see my name on Clubhouse, I want you to make sure that you come onto the stage with me. Even if it's your very first time, I want to support that. So please make sure that you are brave enough, step up, say your piece, even if it's just to say, hello, this is the first time I'm speaking. That's enough. That is the first place you need to start. And I promise you, we will make you feel special. And but yes, women, I have noticed, yesterday I did an event and there was 15 of us up on stage, 2 women. But do you know what? It's okay. We just make ourselves heard. We don't have to compete with the boys. We are very different. We're special, and it's quite amazing. So, okay, is that enough from me, Mark Simpson? Can I just go back to drinking my tea?
Thank you so much for being part of this. I didn't realize it was 5 o'clock in the morning. These time zones are going to be the end of me. But that's such commitment. Thank you for showing up. I feel really bad for waking you up now at what must have been 4 something in the morning. But I will make it up to you. Don't worry. Those we'll get those diamonds in the post one day. To say thank you.
Diamonds on stage. Now there's a concept.
There you go. So okay, so let's talk about what action steps can we do. Vanessa, I just want to bring it straight back to yourself. When it comes to Thai on stage and spreading the awareness, and most importantly, making it equal and having more people feel the confidence that they can do this, because speaking on stage can be quite daunting. It doesn't have to be a physical stage, like I say, it could be a Clubhouse stage or whatever it may be. What actionable steps can everybody take? Obviously, we can start with the hashtag, but what do you recommend? What can we do?
Yeah, so the hashtag, obviously, it's a question, it's a marketing thing. So the more you use it, the better. If you notice some conferences or webinars where, it's completely unequal, then do mention it. I think that could, it's about raising awareness towards the organizers, right? The organizers need to understand that they need to keep an eye on equality and diversity and inclusion, right? So that's using the hashtag is there for that. But then when it comes to women speaking on stage, I would say, having mentors is really good. If you feel this is a scary thing, if you have something to say, you should say it also. And then having mentors can really help. So there are so many groups now online, and LinkedIn particularly, this is where I roam. There's tons of these new groups where women support each other and become role models, where you feel suddenly it's a lot less scary to speak up your mind when somebody else has done it before you, right? It's like, she can do it, I can do it. And then you can get their support, etc. So yeah, if you have something to say and you feel you can contribute to the conversation. Obviously, if it's just talking air, then there's no point. But if you can contribute to the conversation and you have a profound knowledge about something, subject, then you should share it, right? It should be a must. Right?
Yeah.
And then in order to find help, there's tons of help around from other females as well.
So Heather, you mentioned Amy's got a conference coming up. Could you just repeat what it is and when it is, and just if there's a web link or anything, if you know of any web link, etc. How can more people find out about it? Because I think that'd be a great place to start there.
Yeah, it's the Vacation Rental Women's Summit. It's in December in New Orleans. And it is, I believe it's 4th to the 6th of December. Amy did this, was it 18? Was it just a year ago? No, maybe 2. I don't know. I don't know where the years have gone.
Yes.
But
it was February.
I think, was it February last year? No, it was February 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't know where the years have gone. But it was a huge success. She has amazing speakers that are not necessarily. She had the Countess of Carnarvon as the main speaker at the last event. And of course, the Countess of Carnarvon is the owner of Carnarvon Castle. And that was the, oh gosh, somebody remind me of the program.
Yeah,
Downton Abbey. That was Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, that's right.
Thank you, because I was just jumping on Google. So, thank you.
Yeah, so she had her and the Elizabeth, Eat, Pray, Love, Elizabeth Gilbert was another speaker too. So this was not focused solely on short-term rentals at all. It was focused on amazing, amazing women. And you were there, Vanessa, to that one? You were, yeah. I remember. Yeah, I mean, it was a truly amazing event, and
for sure.
And men were not. There were plenty of guys there too. But it was called the Vacation Rental Women's Summit. To find out more, go to the just look at Vacation Rental Women on Facebook, and there's a Facebook group just for Vacation Rental Women. That's Amy's group. I'm a moderator on it, and we talk a lot. And so you can find out there how to speak. And everybody's been really supportive of people who want to speak at that conference. But I just want to add in something I mentioned to Mark earlier. Mark's on my podcast next week. So we just recorded that episode, and I was saying to Mark that for 25 years I was phone phobic. So 25 years of my life, I could not pick up the telephone. And, well, without a cigarette in one hand and a glass of wine in the other. And probably I had to have the 3 glasses of wine before I made the call. But I got over it by getting myself a job as a receptionist, answering the telephone. And so many people I know feel that they are... they have stage fright. They don't want to get on stage. They don't want to talk. They don't want to be front and center. Just do it. Just do it. If I can do what I do now after being 25 years of phone phobic, everybody can.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And I think that is a perfect place.
Cheers for that.
Perfect place. Fantastic. We've got coffees, we've got wine, we've got wine being cheers. Amazing. So if you want to find out more, please do. I will do my best to get all the links that are mentioned, and I will definitely get it up in the blog post and the links and all of the things. And if you're watching back on the replay, I'll get this episode all timestamped so you can come back on it. But what I would love to do, and something I love to do when I have a live podcast and I have amazing guests with me, is to finish on some quick fire questions. So I will sort of peel back the curtain and the magic on this. I have send the questions to the guests to give them a little bit of notice. But I would love for everybody to join in who's watching live. We've got plenty of people watching live with us. There's going to be lots of people watching back on the replay. Please do join in. So the way it's going to work, I'm going to ask the quick fire question. I'm going to start with Heather. We're going to go to Vanessa, then Mariah, then Julie, and then we're going to flip it. And we've got about 3 or 4 questions to ask. So first and foremost, Heather, I'm going to come to you. So when you're not working, how do you like to spend your time? First question to you.
Outside. Because I work inside. I am like a kid at the on holiday every single day. When the day finishes, I am out. In the winter, it's in the snow, and in the summer, it's kayaking, running, walking, biking, whatever. That's it for me. I have to be outside.
Nice. And it's an outside day tomorrow, right?
It's a day off. My first day off since Christmas.
Wow. Well, enjoy. Vanessa.
It's going to be warm and the snow is nearly gone.
There you go. Thank you very much. Vanessa, we're going to come straight into yourself. So when you're not working and running Rentals United and building that, what do you love doing?
For me, it can be inside or outside, but it has to involve friends and wine and food. So anything, hanging out. That's what I do.
I like that. So wine, friends, food, conversation, done.
Yes.
Happy Vanessa. There you go. Moriya, straight to your good self. What do you like to do when you're not working and traveling the world and all of those things? What do you like to do?
That's it. With me, it's a bit of a combination. So since I see myself as a kind of a digital nomad, and you were following me, so you know that I've been traveling the whole year. And something that maybe not everybody knows, that me and Ira, my husband, that is the founder of the Smiling House, we are also the parents of 7 kids. So we travel a lot with them. And we'd like to spend everything that has to do with family, all kind of activities outside. And when I'm finally alone, one of the things that I like to do very much is to sing, is to play my flute, and to dive. I'm a scuba diver. And this kind of journey in hospitality just gave me the possibility to put it all together all the time. And that's great.
That's amazing. Thank you. Miss Julie George, when you are not working, clubhousing, doing all of the things, what do you like to do up there in Australia?
Do you mean you get off Clubhouse? I don't understand. I'm definitely not playing the flute. I'm definitely not scuba diving. I'm probably watching Netflix, sitting there with a cup of tea, a good chocolate, and then I'm having a bubble bath. I'm reading a great book. But I like to unwind, and I guess I'm really in two extremes. If I'm not in front of a camera or have a microphone in front of me, it's got to be switch off and completely alone time, which it's kind of two extremes, but it's really nice just to switch off and watch some rubbish TV, some Housewives or some Married at First Sight or something ridiculous, Neighbours, Home and Away, all of our Australian shows. But and Mark Simpson knows this because he always tries to ring me in the middle of Home and Away or Neighbours. So,
I know I always have to start my conversations with, I'm sorry, I know I'm interrupting something, but which is always good. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Fantastic. And again, everybody, please let me know what you like to do when you're not working in the comments. I will flash some of the ones up on screen as they come in. So we'll move on to the next one. This is my favorite question of the lot. So we'll go with Julie first. We'll go Moriya, Vanessa, and then finish up on Heather. So what is I think we might know the answer already, but what is your guilty pleasure? So what crazy fun thing do you like to do, but others think that's just crazy? What is your guilty pleasure, Julie George?
I don't know. It probably is the trash TV. A lot of people are surprised that I actually really enjoy watching the mindless crap that is on television just to chill out, relax, and make myself feel normal. If you watch an episode of Dr. Phil, suddenly, or the good old Jerry Springer, suddenly your world just seems so much better.
Yeah, no, I can. Well, that is my guilty pleasure. I've said this a few times. I love nothing more than when you're in the shop queue to check out, you always see those magazines, and you've got all the crazy gossipy magazines. I just love to read them. Just never buy them. I just love to read them. As my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I don't know what it is. I love to see it. At any rate, Moriya, let's move to yourself. What's your guilty pleasure?
So we like to throw some parties. I like dancing, and sometimes when I'm kind of really dancing freely, I'm feeling like a 16 years old. I'm jumping around, moving my hair like a groupie of some kind of a rock band, and it's true. It's a true pleasure. Maybe it's looking ridiculous to somebody from the side, but for me, it's like the best.
I love that. Thank you very much, Vanessa. Coming straight to your good self.
this is half as ridiculous as what I'm about to tell you. There's no way. And I thought about it. It was the most ridiculous thing I do. And I have a dog, Lola. I adore her. But I'm not, I'm a dog owner, but I'm not completely, was dog crazy. However, I got this passion for this Facebook group all about dogs, and I do find myself spending quite a bit of time checking out other people's posts about their dogs, which is completely ridiculous. And when I catch myself, it's like, come on, turn it off. And it's very hard to turn off, and I haven't told that to anyone. So
well, thank you. And just like I've always said, there's a Facebook group for every pleasure, anything like this, and so that is, I can totally see that. That is nice. Thank you very much for sharing that, Heather. So we're going to finish on your good self.
Well, you inspired me to think about this one earlier on because you mentioned Marmite,
like Vegemite.
Yeah, you mentioned
for Julie.
Vegemite, well, Marmite. I think you should call it Marmite or something.
Well, somebody described me as somebody once described me as Marmite. They either like me or they don't like me.
That was it. Yeah. Because my guilty pleasure is trash TV, Julie. I love A&E, ambulance, anything that I watch gore and blood and stuff. And thank goodness I'm sitting on my couch. But I will do it with a packet of peanuts and a jar of Marmite. Because the only way to eat them is to put your finger in a jar of Marmite. And I actually have put this on my Facebook page before, so people do know. So you put your finger in the jar of Marmite, and then you put that finger in the packet of peanuts. So it comes out covered, Marmite covered, peanut covered Marmite. And it is astonishingly good. I
win that contest. Big time.
Yeah, she is.
I mentioned this on my Facebook page, and somebody sent me a jar of Marmite and a packet of peanuts.
I think of all I've asked this question to a lot of people, a lot of guests, and up until this point, it was Richard Vaughanton from RentalTonightcom's answer of running naked on the beach at nighttime in Devon. But I think you might have just topped Richard's naked running. So
yeah, that's not a good visual.
Well, very good. I love that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. We're going to go Heather, then Vanessa, then Mariah, then Julie. Your most favorite or your most used emoji. And if you don't know what your most used emoji is, you literally open up a text message and it's the first one that's literally sat there in your most recent. So mine is the laughing face emoji. I don't know if you can see if I hold up to the camera. The one that I literally use the most is the laughing face emoji, very closely followed, unsurprisingly, with the Boostly rocket. But yeah, those are the two ones that I use the most. Heather, are you an emoji person?
Yeah, it's the head blowing up one.
I like that.
The head explosion.
The head explosion one. Okay, I can see that. That is usually mine and my wife's conversation when we're talking about our children. So it's probably the one that gets used the most. Vanessa, straight onto yourself. I don't know.
Whatever. Or get on with it in a way, just get on with it.
Just get on with it. I like that. Mariah, what's your favorite emoji?
The smiley, of course. And I'm sure you can understand why.
Yes,
what else?
I love that. Before we go to Julie, everybody in the comments as well, we've got over 30 people watching with us live. Let me know what your favorite emoji is. Just tap it away in the comments and share it with us. Julie George, what is your favorite emoji?
It's the laughing one on the side with the tears coming out, because I'm always laughing at you, Mark Simpson, and I think half of the emojis I send are to you. So thank you very much for making me laugh.
My absolute pleasure. I try my best. And one that I love to finish on, and we'll go Julie and then work our way back, is what is coming up in the next year that you are the most excited about? I know there's going to be a lot of travel in these answers because I think we're all ready to do it. But what is coming up in the next year, Julie George, that you are most excited about?
I am busting to travel. busting. My passport is dusty. It doesn't know what to do with itself. I am in Australia. We're in full lockdown here, so we can't travel in or out. We're on a little prison island, but super, super safe in Australia. Our COVID situation is fantastic. Like we're healthy, we're safe, but I am busting to travel. I just wrote the details down about that conference in New Orleans in December. Possibly, I think we're 6 months off international travel, but girls, if I can get there, the four of us, we are going to have a bottle of champagne between the four of us. We will possibly invite Mark Simpson. Okay, a bottle each with a straw. And look, I am so looking forward to connecting with people in real life. So that is what I'm looking forward to.
I don't know if you've ever experienced a New Orleans night out, but it's definitely one to watch. Definitely one that you will never remember.
I think the Aussies can take that challenge.
Yeah, it's very well known for its absinthe down in New Orleans, but I've experienced that many times. But thank you, that was awesome. So, Mariah, what is your number one thing that you are looking forward to for the rest of this year?
Well, there's actually more than one.
Okay.
But they are going together. So, because a lot is happening, we are now busy very much with launching a new kind of a channel that is a Villa Tracker, and it's a software that is dedicated actually to B2B, to reach out to the professionals from different kind of industries that they all kind of don't know how to reach out to us, the legacy travel agent, the concierge companies, travel designers, media production, MICE industry, and others. We couldn't ignore it. We had a lot of booking coming from these kind of professionals that don't find themselves in the OTA in 2020, and we decided to sit on this product. And it's made that I'm getting a little bit more familiar with tech, and this is like a whole new journey. And at the same time, Smiling House is becoming a luxury channel by itself. And I will have to speak with Vanessa as well about it. So a lot of excitement coming this year, coming very soon.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward, as always, to hearing more. Vanessa, moving to yourself, what have you got planned this year? It can be work or non-work. What summit's coming up that you're looking forward to?
Well, actually, I have to piggyback on Julie because and I also want to do a shameless plug. There is a list of vacation rental events on my blog on the RentalsUnited.com/blog, where I was amazed that so many organizers are actually organizing events from September onwards. And there's London, there's plenty of US, there's Malaga in Spain, and I keep on hearing about others. So if you go there, you'll see what is planned from September onwards, and tons of in-person events. And personally, for me as a marketeer in the vacation rental industry, it's very important to be in touch and to meet people and to talk to them and to have a drink with them at face to face. This is where I get my inspiration from as to what is it what kind of solutions do I need to provide to them to help them. So this is why I'm really looking forward to seeing all the people in the vacation rental industry again as of September.
Yeah, what I love about going to events where Rentals United are present is there's always so many people over at the desk and booth and talking and chatting. So it's always a good sign of a good company when you see that. So well done. Well done. And Heather, what are you most looking forward to this year apart from more days off and more eating Marmite?
I'm what they call a snowbird here. And I join 350,000 other Canadians every winter and head south, and could not do it. I had to experience a winter in Ontario, which is not to my liking. So I am booked to be in Gulf Shores, Alabama for 5 months from November, which is just down the road from my good friend Amy Highnote. So we get to hang out a lot for 5 months. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to is November. I'll be heading down to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and I won't leave until April.
Oh, amazing.
Wow. You're a digital nomad now.
What?
You're a digital nomad.
Yes.
Well, yes. Yeah. I mean, last time we went away, we went to 10 different states and just worked throughout the winter. So in different states. So it's... Perfect. I
remember
just
the
want to get away when the border opens between us and the US.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, one and all, for coming on and talking about this. And, you know, like I said right at the very start, there's so many people that I could have invited, but I could only invite 4 amazing people up here. So I encourage everybody to please adopt Thai on Stage hashtag, bring it in. And if you ever notice a Clubhouse room or an event, a live event, a speaking event, and you feel that the equality is not there, then mention it and then do something about it. Put your hand up and offer to speak. And everybody's got a story to share. Everybody's got something they can talk about. Please never, ever feel like you've not got something to share, because all you have to do is to come into the hospitality community. And we've got 82% of the total membership, 6,000 members in there, 82% are women, and 82% have got amazing stories to share. They've always got help and advice. So never, ever, ever feel like you can't speak up. And if you ever come across anybody who gives you any grief, tell me, and I'll make sure that I'll kick them in the ass and tell them what's for, because it's this industry is made and for everybody. And I love this industry, and I love talking about this industry, and I love helping as many hosts as possible. And I'm so glad that we were able to do this on the 200th episode of the Boostly podcast. So thank you to everybody for joining. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and watch live with us, and thank you to everybody that watches on the replay. If you want to go find out more, just go to boostly.co.uk/podcast. We've got loads of interviews that you can get caught up on and you can download and all of those good stuff. Before we go, I just want everybody, of all our guests, just to say where people can find out more. So we'll start with Heather, we'll go to Vanessa, Mariah, and then Julie George. And a lot of people are asking for your book, Julie, so make sure you give it a plug and promote when you do so. So Heather, podcast, you know, where can they go? Where can they go find it? And where can they find out more about you, please?
Yeah, podcast is Vacation Rental Success. It's been going for 7 years, and we're just coming up to our 400th episode.
Wow, 400.
And you nearly, I'll be 1 million downloads this year.
Wow.
So you can find me at Heather at vacationrentalformula.com if you want to email me, or just check out the website.
Amazing. 1 million downloads. Fantastic. Vanessa, so where can people find out more about rentals and etc.?
So yeah, we'll be RentalTonightcom. We're a channel manager. We're not for everyone. We're not going to try and sell you something that you don't need. So we're a distribution platform for larger property managers. But if you want some really cool resources, I think they're very cool. It's our blog. We do put a lot of time in the research and creation of our content. And there's tons of really cool things, really cool downloads to be had completely for free, just because, we're vacation rental nerds.
Yeah.
We love the industry.
Thank you very much. So it's rentalsunited.com and then / and you'll find everything that you need. Just head to the homepage and go from there. Mariah, so you've got some exciting projects coming up. If anybody wants to find out more, LinkedIn, Instagram, where's the best place to find you? Where's the best place to get in contact?
So yeah, if you want to find a little bit about Smiling House, so just go to smilinghouse.ch. And about me, I'm on LinkedIn under Moriya Rockman, in Instagram with Smiling House, in Facebook, of course, and in Clubhouse. I want to mention again the STR professionals and the great club we have, but there's many other great clubs with hospitality, and we all there for sharing knowledge. So please join, and you can find me there as well with Smiling House. Thank you.
Thank you. And Julie George. So again, the book, everyone's asking for the book, and just where can people find out more if you want to have a chat?
Okay. So look, you can find me, always on Clubhouse, but we'll talk about that in a second. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I finally figured out how to use Instagram. I'm sure I've cracked it. But look, $1 Million Host, you can get this on Amazon. You can get it on any online bookstore, or go to milliondollarhost.com.au. You've got to put the AU for Australia on the end. But look, ladies, anybody who's tuning in right now, if we have inspired you, if you feel like we've motivated you to jump on board and jump on a stage, don't be shy, don't be scared, be brave, pull those big girl pants on and come and join us, because all of us, don't be intimidated. We are all human. We are all going to support you, and we would love to have you. I would love to have you all up on my stage. So if you're in Clubhouse, please make sure to follow me. We are having regular events on there. We talk about short-term rentals and Airbnb all day long. We're addicted. We are clubaholics. But I would love for you to make contact with me. Shoot me a quick message and go, I'm ready. I'm ready to speak up. And I don't care if you've got one property, if you've got 100. I don't care what your experience is. I just would encourage you to come up and find your voice. Thanks, Mark.
There's some amazing comments. Anne saying thank you very much, really inspiring. Jane saying really enjoyed listening to this. Sharon and Angela and everybody. So thank you very, very, very much for joining us for this podcast. And I will leave and just say, if you want to find out anything more about any of these podcast episodes, just head to boostly.co.uk/podcast. And I will be back for episode 201 tomorrow for our daily podcast. We release videos and podcasts every single day. My goal this year is to do a podcast every day and see if I can kind of get anywhere close to Heather and the 400 numbers. We're going strong. We're doing well. So I'll be back tomorrow for another podcast. But thank you very much to everybody that's tuned in, and we shall see you when we see you.
Having a blast, gonna get it on the Boostly podcast. Boostly like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely.